Could you ever imagine a country where neighbours turn against neighbours, friends against friends in a matter of hours? Picture this, Rwanda, a small landlocked country in East Africa, the early 1990s. A place where the unthinkable happened, a place where humanity was lost in a sea of hatred and violence. An event so horrific it is etched into the annals of history as one of the darkest periods of the 20th century, the Rwanda Genocide, a time when the ethnic tensions between the Hutus and the Tutsis escalated into a mass slaughter. In the blink of an eye, ordinary citizens transformed into murderers, machetes became weapons of mass destruction, and the beautiful land of 1,000 hills turned into a killing field. The world watched in horror and disbelief as the news trickled out of the small African nation. But the full extent of the carnage was unimaginable. In the space of a mere 100 days, about 800,000 Tutsis and moderate Hutus were brutally slaughtered. To understand this profound catastrophe, we must delve into the history of Rwanda and its people. The heart of Rwanda beats to the rhythm of two main ethnic groups, the Hutus and the Tutsis. For centuries, these groups coexisted, their identities more socio-economic than ethnic. The Tutsis, often cattle herders, were seen as the elite, while the Hutus, primarily farmers, were the majority. However, the lines blurred under Belgian colonial rule in the early 20th century. The Belgians, in their bid to control, exacerbated the differences, favouring the Tutsis over the Hutus and planting seeds of resentment and mistrust. This favouritism created a deep chasm between the two groups, stirring up animosity that would simmer for decades. In the late 50s, the winds of change swept across Rwanda. The Hutus overthrew the Tutsi monarchy, triggering a series of retaliatory ethnic violence and power struggles. The tension escalated and the country teetered on the edge of a dangerous precipice. The spark that ignited this volatile situation was the crash of the presidential jet. On April 6, 1994, a plane carrying President Habyarimana, a Hutu, was shot down. This event, shrouded in mystery and intrigue, sparked the catastrophic genocide that would soon engulf Rwanda. The presidential jet, a symbol of authority and unity, was reduced to a pile of smoking wreckage. The death of President Habyarimana, a Hutu leader, was a deep blow to the Hutu population. In the immediate aftermath, fear and suspicion pervaded the country. Accusations were thrown, fingers were pointed, but no one could definitively answer the question on everyone's lips: who was responsible? This uncertainty only fueled the tension between the Hutu and Tutsi communities, a tension that had been simmering for decades. The power vacuum left by Habyarimana's death was quickly filled by a radical Hutu government, who seized this opportunity to manipulate the fear and anger of the Hutu majority. They stoked the flames of ethnic hatred, depicting the Tutsi as the enemy, as traitors. A narrative was spun, a narrative that painted the Tutsi as the villains and the Hutu as the victims. The stage was set, and the genocide began. In the ensuing chaos, the darkest side of humanity was laid bare. The genocide was a horrifying display of man's inhumanity to man. The perpetrators were mostly ethnic Hutus, driven by historical tensions and a fear of losing power. Their victims were primarily Tutsis, but moderate Hutus were not spared either. The genocide was carried out with chilling efficiency. Roadblocks were set up to catch those trying to escape. Lists of Tutsis and moderate Hutus were compiled, their houses marked. Machetes, clubs, and other crude weapons became instruments of death. While this horror unfolded, the international community largely stood by. Despite the warnings and pleas for help, there was no immediate intervention. The United Nations, hamstrung by bureaucratic red tape and a lack of political will, was unable to prevent or halt the massacre. In 100 days, an estimated 800,000 lives were snuffed out, forever altering the fabric of Rwanda. The genocide ended, but not before it left an indelible scar on the nation. When the dust settled, a nation was left in ruins, its people traumatized, and its social fabric torn. The aftermath of the genocide was a bleak landscape where survivors were left to rebuild from the ashes. However, Rwanda was determined to rise from this tragedy. The process of healing began with the trial of perpetrators. The Gakaka traditional courts, a community-based justice system, were revitalized to deal with the overwhelming number of cases. This system, deeply rooted in Rwandan culture, allowed for truth-telling, repentance, and community reintegration. Simultaneously, the nation embarked on an ambitious journey of reconstruction with a focus on unity and reconciliation. Infrastructure was rebuilt, policies were reformed, and the economy was revitalized. Amidst the scars of the past, a new Rwanda began to emerge, resilient, united, and forward-looking. This rebirth was not without its challenges. The social fabric had been deeply damaged, and trust had to be re-established. But Rwanda's progress has been remarkable, a testament to its people's resilience and determination. Justice was served, but the memories remained. The genocide is a dark chapter in Rwanda's history, but it's also a story of resilience, unity, and hope for a brighter future. How does a nation remember such a tragedy? The memory of the Rwanda genocide is kept alive in the hearts and minds of the Rwandan people, and indeed the world, through various means. In Rwanda, memorials stand as silent witnesses to the horrors that unfolded. They are places of reflection, of sorrow, but also of education. They serve to remind us of the past, in the hope that such atrocities are never repeated. Around the globe, the genocide is commemorated on a yearly basis. This international recognition not only honors the victims, but also serves as a vital tool in raising global awareness about the dangers of hatred and intolerance. It's a time of remembrance, of mourning, but also a time to learn, to understand, and to pledge never again. In the end, the way we remember is by learning from the past. The lessons of the Rwanda genocide are lessons of humanity, the consequences of fear, hate, and division, but also the power of forgiveness, unity, and resilience. The Rwanda genocide serves as a stark reminder of the depths to which humanity can sink, but also of its capacity for resilience and renewal. Today, Rwanda stands as a testament to the power of reconciliation and renewal. This nation, once torn asunder by one of the darkest periods in human history, has found a way to heal and to grow. In the years following the genocide, Rwanda has made remarkable strides in rebuilding. The country has fostered unity and reconciliation, moving beyond the labels of Hutu and Tutsi to embrace a common identity as Rwandans. Economic growth has been impressive, with investments in education, healthcare, and infrastructure fostering a sense of optimism for the future. International relationships, too, have been mended, as evidenced by French President Emmanuel Macron's recognition of France's role in the genocide, symbolizing a commitment to move forward. Yet, the scars of the past are not forgotten. They serve as a reminder of what was lost and as a motivation to ensure such a tragedy never repeats. Rwanda's journey illustrates the power of human resilience. From the ashes of despair, a nation has risen, determined to forge a brighter future. The Rwanda genocide, a grim chapter in human history, yet a story of resilience and hope.